one. Where'd it go? Oh, what's up guys, Jake with TN Tactical. Come to another special red dot video. Today, I've got a new one for you. Today, we are looking at the Cyelee Cat SRS6 Pro. This is a red dot that was actually sent out to us by Cyelee for testing and evaluation. Thank you, Cyelee. We really appreciate that. They know though, and you know if you've been watching, that anytime we get free stuff like this, we tend to beat the piss out of it, and that's not going to be any different today. We do this because we think it's important to us, and probably to you at home, to know if stuff like this is worth your time, but more importantly, your hard-earned money. So today we are going to go over all the specs and features of this particular red dot, zero it properly as we do, but then we're going to beat the living piss out of it to see if it holds that zero or survives for that matter. So with all that being said, let's see how she does. Okay, we are out here at roughly about 20 yards-ish. All right, so going into all the specs and features of the Cat SRS6 Pro. I'm gonna be up front with you. I gotta tell you the first thing that's most important to know about this is the price. It is $235 for a micro RMSC dot. Yikes, that's a lot of money. However, I do have a discount code that will work if you use it on a certain site. I don't know what that site might be, but if you use TN Tactical, you can save 10% off, and it goes a long way to help the channel so that we can make future videos like this. I don't know what that website could be, but there is some site out there that I think, I'm told, you can use TN Tactical to get 10% off. Please do that. Please help us. Please. But going back into the specs and features, this is a 6 MOA RMSC pattern red dot. They advertise it as being two major things. Number one, that it is duty and carry use, meaning you should be able to bump it and drop it, it should be fine. And number two, it's supposed to be good for if you have astigmatism. It's not going to take away the astigmatism, but it's supposed to provide some kind of relief because of the way it was designed. Essentially, if you have astigmatism, you should be able to use this dot easier than our typical red dot. On top of that, it does have 11 different brightness settings, 9 of which are going to be for the LEDs, 2 of which are going to be for night vision. And with that, you will actually get about 50,000 hours of battery life. Now, does that mean it's going to be on the highest brightness setting? Probably not. However, they do give you the typical shake-awake technology, the thing that we've seen a lot of companies do, where after you set that down for a while, it will automatically turn off for you until you pick it back up, saving that sweet, precious battery life. I also like that because if you're going to use it as a carry or a duty red dot, well, you don't want to have to worry about, oh, let me draw it out of my holster here. Oh, hang on, let me press the button, intruder. There we go. Okay, I'm ready to shoot. You don't want to deal with that. You won't have to with the shake-awake technology that's built into this, just like many of the other Cyelee red dots out there. Now, it does feature 1 MOA adjustments for elevation and windage. I'll show you again nice and tight here. So if you look closely here, you've got your elevation up top there, and you've got your windage on the side there. Of course, there's your battery tray, by the way. Use a CR1632 battery, just goes in the side there. Very nice, meaning you won't have to take the red dot off and lose your zero, potentially, just to replace the battery. Now, this is an open emitter dot here, so anything like blood or feces or rain or mud that could fall on this could potentially block the emitter there, so just be aware of that. Also, while we're looking back here, you see that notch right there? That notch actually lines up perfectly, so that if you needed to, you could use it as a rear sight to co-witness with your front sight, meaning you can in fact co-witness with this red dot. It's very nice. Now, I am using these night sights that kind of stand mighty high and proud, so not really an issue for me there. It doesn't really seem to block the actual rear sight being used, but let's say you didn't have this mounted directly to a slide like I do, you could potentially run the problem where it sits too high overall and it does block your rear sight. So it's nice that they include the makeshift rear sight there for you if you need it. So if you look closely there, you can see I was aiming at that rubber target in the A zone, and for the most part, my shots were pretty much in the A zone. I did make some slight adjustments, bringing the point of impact slightly to the left, so that was more in the center of where I was aiming, which you can see some of those lower shots there. So pretty much about what I expect, especially at this distance. Not exactly the easiest distance for a small little handgun like this, but I was able to hit steel, and I think that's, well, proof's in the pudding. Of course, you got your standard rubberized buttons here. We do like our rubberized buttons for clicking up and down. You can also actually use those buttons to actually lock out the red dot so that no one can accidentally turn it on, or I guess if you just want to be safe and make sure no one uses your battery. But you can press and hold the button down to lock it out, so that way nobody can mess with the settings, the brightness, nothing. It's locked in, which is kind of cool. I like that. So $230 plus the, you know, 10 tactical for 10% off. Not cheap, right? I think we can agree this is not cheap, especially with Cyelee typically being a more budget-friendly option. But they say that this one's supposed to be for duty use. Does that mean it's going to be indestructible? No, obviously not. But we are going to properly beat the piss out of it to see just how far we can really push this $230 red dot. Behold, the tree of damnation. This is where red dot's going to be beaten against a tree, like a hammer hitting a nail, to see if they hold zero. Getting on me. Check this out. All right, so if you look closely here, there's the housing. Everything's good. There's my glass. I think y'all can see that there. It's good to go. Of course, you want to see what the dot looks like. So I'll see if I can focus that in there for you. So there's my dot. A little hard to focus, but you get the idea. It's right there. It is good to go. All right, so we're about the same distance as we were before, and we'll shoot at the, I guess I'll shoot at the left rubber target. It's already got a couple holes in it, but it'll be all right. I think they're hitting in the A zone. Let me check here. It's always hard to aim these smaller guns, but I'll show you my shots here, let you see what we got. I'll let you see here. It's hard to tell. It really is hard to tell, just because of how the target is. There was one hole there that was out. There's another in. I think one right there. Again, it's kind of hard to tell. I don't know what's going on with the spray paint this time. I can tell you that was already there. That was already there. That's not even a mark. That was already there. So my shots were mainly just right there. Again, hard to tell. You're gonna have to take my word for that. I know, YouTuber, probably a shill, but doing the best I can. It's hot out here, guys. Doing the best I can. Behold, the brick of damnation. This is where red dots come to live or die. This is where we take a fully loaded magazine. We take a fully loaded magazine. Of course, the gun itself is empty, because we try to be a little bit safe here on Deity Tactical. Load up the mag, and then we proceed to drop it from chest high, and usually about 5 or 6 times. If we're feeling a little frisky, we might do more. We'll see how she does, and see if it needs more drops. 2, 1. Five. I gotta show you guys this. This is crazy. Look at this. We take the mag out, of course. Again, safety. Range Officer Randy. Look at it. Can y'all see it? Now look, we got all kinds of damage up here on the top, right? But look here. Look! Look at that. Look at that! It's good! Let me manually focus so you can see it. You guys see it? There's your dot. There's your glass. I think you guys can see it, right? Look at that. It's not broken. That's pretty intense. That's pretty intense. I kind of want to do a few more drops. Can I do 5 more? Let's do 5 more. Feel a little frisky here. Okay, here we go. 5 drops good. Let's do 5 more. That sucked. That doesn't count. 8. it's still freaking good, guys. Look at this. I feel like it was just a couple weeks ago I just said that we normally never have this happen with our micro red dots that we drop test here. They normally break, but here we go. But check it out, guys. Look. See that? Lots of damage, right? But it is still good to go. See, look. There you can kind of see it. If I manually focus it, there it is. Somehow, some way, this freaking dot is still good to go. All right, boys, you know the drill. Let's, man, I really scratched this gun up. Look at that. Look at that. Scraped it up bad. Holy shit. That's neither here nor there. Let's see if we held zero. Oh yeah. Very nice. Do one more mag here. Not bad. All right, let me show you what we got. All right, so I was mainly shooting that steel target, right? And at first I thought I was shooting kind of low. So I went back and aimed on the rubber target, and as you can see, it's like literally right dead center of where I'm aiming. So maybe that's a fluke or something, but then I started rapidly firing, and you can see it just kind of opened up and my shot started going kind of all over the place. So overall, yeah, even 10 drops, it still held zero. All right, boys, I think you know what's left. Only one thing left we can do. The red dot's not been broken, it's still holding zero. Only one thing left we can do to truly test this red dot. I think you know what it's time for. I'm going to take this brick and I'm going to slam it down as hard as I can with my own force, not just gravity. Slam it down as hard as I can on that red dot and see if it survives. And I've kind of got the slow-mo camera backed off just a little bit because I don't know where this brick is going to go flying, and I don't really want to hit my phone. So anyways, in 3, clear that weed out. In 3, 2, 1. Where'd it go? Huh. What the fuck? I gotta check the slow-mo footage out. Oh my god, didn't hit slow-mo? I didn't hit slow-mo. Oh man. Alright, so one thing I forgot to do is I forgot to show you guys after that first brick being slammed on top of the red dot that the red dot was in fact okay and good to go. It was not cracked, it was not broken, it was nothing. It was fine. The glass was good, the red dot in there was working, everything was good, but I got kind of so caught up with the fact that I forgot to get the slow-mo footage. I forgot to show you that, so I'm just going to freeze this frame here. This is the beginning of the slow-mo footage of the second brick slam. I want you guys to just kind of see here that the glass, I know it's kind of blurry, but the glass and the red dot and everything is in fact still good. It's still intact, it's still usable, very much so. Again, my apologies, just kind of got caught up in the moment, and just wanted to take a moment to show you this fact. It survived. Actually survived one brick being slammed on it full force. Okay, let's do that again. I forgot to hit record on the slow-mo camera, but here we go. In 3, 2, 1. Finally, it took 2 of those. It took 2 of those, but I finally broke it. I finally broke it, guys. There it is. But take note, I had to do that twice. And of course, now the brick of damnation has another split part that's broken off of it. So might need to get another brick of damnation here soon too, anyways. But check it out. I mean, there's not much to see to it, but there it is, you know? Like, it took me slamming a brick as hard as I could twice. The first time I didn't even do anything to it, but the second time, it finally broke it. There were no cracks or anything on the first drop, the first slam, I should say. Man, guys, that's something else. This is now the most indestructible micro red dot I've ever seen. It took 2 of those slamming against the concrete to finally break it. Wow. So guys, I'm gonna make it very short and very sweet. You know how I feel about this. I'm impressed. I'm very impressed. People are gonna bitch and complain and say, oh, why are you breaking red dots? That's not practical. We're not trying to be practical. We're trying to push things to their limit to see how far you can really push, like I said from the beginning, this budget-friendly stuff. And I gotta be honest with you, it's freaking impressive. That's the most damage we've ever done. That's the most force we've ever applied to a micro red dot. This thing held up one forceful slam like that, and it took 2 to eventually finally break it. So I'm highly impressed. 230 bucks, yeah. I think if it took that much to finally break it, I think it's worth it. And I think if you're looking for a micro red dot, this might be the one for you, especially if you have astigmatism. I like it. Guys, that's gonna wrap it up. If you enjoy this kind of content, make sure to like, subscribe, comment down below. What do you think about this Cyelee red dot? I'd love to hear from you. We will see you next time.